Now we're recording.
Now we're recording. Oh.
That's so awesome. All right, so this will be recorded for you to see it afterwards, so don't feel like you have to take like feverish notes. We're gonna make sure we send this out along with the slide deck after this.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. All right.
Boom.
So the first thing we wanted to do is just
Housekeeping.
two like big housekeeping things. So the first housekeeping thing is that April 25th is going to be our Rock Out Race Day webinar. I don't know why you named it that because it's such a mouthful. Rock Out Race Day. Rock Out Race Day.
I think it's an incredible name. It is hard to say, but Rock Out Race Day. But they're the ones you don't want to miss. If you're a new host site leader, even if you're an experienced seasoned host site leader, we have a number of new things we're rolling out for Race Day. But with all the questions of how to do this, what's coming in the mail when, and how should we set this up, and what do I say, and how do I send stuff back? That's where we cover all those race day details. So don't worry, that day is coming. And like this one, we're going to record it. But if you can make that, that would be awesome to have you live because we do a lot of questions back and forth on that.
Yes, and so I'll send out the link to get signed up for that one in your email next week.
Instead of the Rock Out Race Day, we could abbreviate it ROR, like roar.
Roar Day. No. Okay. All right, the second big thing is that we have over 100 churches signed up for Celebration Sunday, which is so incredible.
What did we have last year?
We had like 17.
17?
So it's a great year. It's a great year for Celebration Sunday. If you don't know what that is, it is the day after the 6K where churches can celebrate the impact made through the 6K. We send them decorations and photo booths and orange donuts for you to have a good time after the race and invite even more people into child sponsorship. So there's still time to join that. We have a few spots left for Celebration Sunday this year. If you are interested, you can go ahead and just comment yes to CS, and New's going to catch you and send you the information. Or you can send us an email to ask6k@worldvision.org. That's all you got to do.
Boom. And if you're not interested, you can just say hi to New in the comments too.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
She's had a long day, guys.
Tell her she's amazing. Oh, wait, we forgot to explain why she had a long day.
Okay, you go for it.
All right, so you might have noticed, but this actually will affect the things we do on the call, is actually our website is currently down, which is very unfortunate. It's been down for about an hour and a half now. All Team World Vision websites are. So New has, the main reason she's had a long day is she has rallied heaven and earth internally. It's actually lucky that we're here today because we're getting all of our internal people. The Team World Vision website specifically and the Global 6K registration website, they're not actually owned and operated by World Vision. We use a third-party vendor because of their efficiencies. And so we are calling and putting, let's just say this, immense Christian pressure on our third-party vendor to get that website up. So our prayer is that the website is back up like before this call ends. That would be the blessing, especially since we know we have a lot of you all who are actively recruiting. There's a lot of marketing efforts out there right now. And so it is down, which will affect a little bit what we do tonight, but we're praying it's up in a matter of minutes and hours, not any longer than that.
Yeah, and so New's going to be checking that all while we're on the call, so you don't have to check it. If it comes back on while we're on the call, we'll give you the amazing news that it's back up. So that was that. Okay, so we're going to start the night off with a raffle. Raffle. Okay, so we're going to have New. New has a randomizer, and she's going to give us a random name of someone who's registered. Here are the rules. If you are not on this call, but New picks your name, you don't get the prize. We go to the next person.
That's just be registered and not on the call.
Exactly. That's just what we do at Team World Vision. You got to be present to get the gift. So the first raffle, we are going to be raffling off one of our coveted balloon arches. Everybody loves a good balloon arch, right?
That's totally something you brought to the thing. Okay.
I love balloon arches.
I know, they're beautiful. They make a finish line actually look like a finish line. It's pretty rad.
That's right. Yeah. All right, so this first winner, they're going to be getting the balloon arch. New, can you give us a name? Jeff Gar. Are you on the call? Are you on the call, Jeff? If you are, type that you're here in the comment section. We're going to give him. We're going to give him 10 seconds. 10.
I don't know how to do it, but I'm here.
Oh, Jeff, he's here.
We heard you, Jeff. We heard you. We hear you, Jeff.
Jeff is claiming his balloon art. New's going to connect with you after the call to get that sent out to you. You guys, we have a ton more raffles this call, so don't worry. You may be next.
You might hear a horrible joke. I just thought of you said, what's a Impact Night without a raffle? It's a raffle-less Impact Night.
Whoa. Okay.
Sorry,
all right. So we really wanted to start this call off in the right posture. And I was literally just telling Rusty a few minutes ago that I know how hard it is to invite people into fundraising and into signing up for the 6K. Like, I have been there. I've been, a host site leader, been that person making those invitations. And I came across this quote earlier today, and I thought it was just so perfect to frame our time together tonight. And the quote says, fundraising, but anywhere you see fundraising, you can literally just replace it with inviting people to do the 6K. Fundraising is proclaiming what we believe in such a way that we offer other people an opportunity to participate with us in our vision and mission. Fundraising is precisely the opposite of begging. And so I feel like this is just such a great reminder for us that when we are out there continuously asking people to sign up for my 6K, sign up for the 6K, donate to my page, it's such a great reminder for us that we are inviting people into the vision and the mission that we have to bring an end to the global water crisis. And that's the one thing that everybody on this call shares. We see, these pictures and these videos of these kids who have to walk all this way for water that's not even safe to drink, and it breaks our heart. And that is something that unites us, and that is something that connects us as leaders. And so we need to hold on to that, especially going into the last 4 weeks of recruiting. We need to hold on to that because it is tough. It's tough to host this thing. It's tough to continuously invite people and feel like you're being that friend or that person that's always asking your friends for something. But it is the exact opposite of begging. And then, which I thought was pretty funny, there's a difference between raising money and telling our story and inviting others into our mission. And so as you go out there and you're making those phone calls or those text messages, or you're standing behind a table, or you're getting up on stage, we have to remember that we are really just telling our story. And we're talking about how God has broken our heart for this cause and how we have been put on mission to provide people with clean water. You're not begging, you're not being annoying, you're just being who you've been called to be.
And on that quote that actually put in there by Henry Nouwen, it's actually from his book called The Spirituality of Fundraising. It's actually, if you just Google it, it's a free download in many different places. It's now free. It's a PDF, and it's an incredible book. It's very short, too, but it's powerful about what Ashley just said. We're inviting people into a vision and a mission and God's movement. We're following God. We're not asking God to follow us in that sense, and that's beautiful. So thanks for kind of starting us off, especially in this day where the website's down and we need God to bring it back up through some smarter people than us who are good at computers and stuff.
So next up is an impact update. We wanted to give you a progress report of where we are as far as numbers, and I'm going to let Rusty do the honor of revealing these numbers.
I'm probably going to start to cry. This is legit. This is, man. So as of today, we have 13,750. So wait, 1,300. I'm not sorry. Words. 13,752 people signed up right now, which is incredible because the reality is that represents over that many kids with clean water because we're averaging more than $50 per person. We have no idea how many kids are going to be sponsored or race day from that number, but y'all, that's 13,752 American lives that also need to experience transformation, that might meet Jesus through this experience, that might meet him in a new way, that might just feel God's love through the kid on their bib. Y'all, this 6K changes not only the kids' lives, but I think you've seen it at your host sites if you've led this before. It activates us as people. And obviously it's come through all y'all 885 host sites. And at the end of the day, $704,000 raised for clean water. And the beautiful thing about that is if I'm doing my math right, that's like 14,000 people with clean water so far. 14,000 people with clean water so far. Not even counting the kids we're going to get sponsored on race day. Just massive. And if you've been to the field with us, and if you haven't, you need to come on one of our trips after the 6K is done. You know that actually represents lives change and kids with clean water and just what that leads to. So huge.
Sure.
Yeah, we're probably going to double that number. Let's more than double.
Claim it.
Boom. Let's do it. Let's do it. Race day.
Claim it. And like Rusty just said, those numbers are great, and we love looking at the numbers and seeing our impact through numbers. But you all know that our impact is really in the stories of transformation that we see because of the Global 6K, because of you all as leaders providing people with clean water. So I wanted to introduce you all to Jenna. This is a picture of my friend Jenna from Malawi. I got to meet Jenna last summer on my trip to Malawi. Now, Jenna is not just a mom, she's not just a wife, she's not just a teacher who needed clean water. She is actually the head of the Clean Water Committee in her community, which is pretty awesome because a lot of times women are not allowed to take leadership roles in these communities. And so for Jenna to be the head of this water committee kind of blew me away. She spoke to our group about what her role is and making sure that, that specific water source is maintained and that people are utilizing it the right way, that sanitation and hygiene is being used properly. And these are all things that she learned through World Vision. So you all know this, I know, but we go beyond water. We don't just provide clean water. We're making sure that people know how to utilize clean water and maintain that clean water source long after World Vision is gone. And so Jenna is responsible for that in her community. This is a picture where Jenna and her community used to get water. She walked us over here. She kind of told us the story of all the children in the community who were sick because of drinking from this water source. As you can see, this is obviously not clean water at all. And so she just beamed with pride in this new source of water. Now, here's the cool thing that I wanted to tell you about this story. Jenna reminds me so much of you all as leaders. And you might not see this all the time. You might not feel this all the time, but hosting the 6K, being a 6K host site leader, you are in direct connection to leaders around the world. A lot of them being the people who lead the water projects that you are working so hard to fund. Now, if we look at this last picture, this is the water project. This is Jenna's water project. And this is Rosemary, who is cranking for water. If you look closer, where I've put this red circle, the crank hand pumps, the handles for the crank, they are metal and they are completely bare in this picture. And they're bare in this picture because the matting around to be there to protect people's hands from the heat of the metal in the middle of the day, it had worn off. It had completely worn off, and this community had to collect more money to get new coverings for these hand pumps so that people weren't burning their hands when they were trying to get clean water. And so Jenna was in charge of going around the community and collecting funds, working with World Vision to get those funds matched to be able to buy those coverings for the handles. And I remember talking to Jenna about this, and she was she had raised the money that she needed, and she had sent away for the handle coverings, and she was just waiting on them. And I remember talking to Jenna about this, and I asked her, what was the most frustrating thing about this, or what was the hardest thing about this? And she told me that she said, Ashley, the hardest thing about collecting this money was just asking people. It was just asking people. That was the hardest thing. And it made me think of you all, because that is something that I hear from you all the time. The hardest thing is just asking people, It's such a hard thing, and you feel that. And she to start the chain of asking people into the Global 6K, raising the money to provide clean water. So now Jenna can take a leadership position in her community, and now she's responsible for asking people to continue to help maintain and change this community through this clean water project. And so I wanted to share Jenna's story. You all were the first people that came to my mind when I met her in Malawi, and we talked about the difficulties in making the ask. And, we know that it's difficult, but it is so worth it. Jenna is worth it. Rosemary is worth it. The work that you all are doing is worth it.
That's right. I actually never heard you tell that story. Is that the first time you told that story?
First time, yeah.
No, that's legit. So it is time to transition to another raffle.
Of course.
And for this raffle, I think we're giving away the jerry cans, right?
Yep, yeah. 2 jerry cans to the winner of this raffle, and New's gonna ship those out and send those. Come on, New, give us another name. No pressure. I think Grace Stewart. Who? Grace Stewart.
Are you online, Grace Stewart?
Online? Unmute yourself and say that you're here, or type it in the chat.
Grace.
Are you under the name ASTI?
Grace, are you under ASTI? Is that your screen name? ASTI, Grace? Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
yes,
Grace.
Okay, Grace is here. 2 jerry cans to Grace.
Boom. Those are awesome, by the way. Like if you don't get a jerry can in a raffle, you can get one on the store, or you
get one on the store, yeah.
Or just go to Amazon and you can get, it's basically any gas can, and then you can spray paint it orange. That's what we used to do back in the day. So,
that's right.
Cool. All right, now we got to transition to it's an honor for me to be on this. And so when I tell Ashley I've never heard that story before, literally, I didn't hear that story before. I didn't necessarily know what we're going to talk about tonight, but I love the transition from the hardness, the spirituality, fundraising, the ask, and Jenna, right? Jenna's
Jenna.
story?
Yep.
Jenna's story is beautiful. So like, let's transition to like a little bit more practical help with each other. We've been collecting a lot of ideas from you all, what's working, what's not working on our recruiting, and kind of just a kind of shot in the arm about this recruiting, because we really only have, like you said, 3 to 4 more weeks until it ends.
For sure. So it is now 4 weeks until race day, which is, when did this happen? How did we get here so fast? 4 weeks to race day. And I've been getting, and New's been getting a ton of messages from people. What can I do in these last 4 weeks? What should I do in these last 4 weeks? Well, we're in the week, New. This week is not over.
Yeah.
Come on, New.
Yes.
Kill the momentum. All right.
Oh yeah, it's less than 4 weeks. Yeah,
Yes.
gotcha.
4 weeks to race day. And so people have been asking us about what should they do, how should they do it. And the reality is, you all, if we want to create the biggest impact and do the most we can for this mission and for clean water, we kind of have to do something every day. It can be a small something, it can be a big something, but we would love for you all on this call, as some of our top leaders, to commit to doing something every single day. And so we've listed out 30 different ways that you can recruit for your 6K. Some of them are very small things to do. Some of them are bigger things to do. But we just have all these lists. And remember, we're going to send out this deck so you don't have to take notes on this.
Yeah.
So we have 30 things on here. So if you commit to doing one of these things at least once a day, we guarantee that your whole site will grow. Now, we're not going to talk through all of these, but Rusty, do you want to pick like one and maybe we each talk through one?
Absolutely. I love healthy competition. That's my one, which we'll get to at the end of this call. A healthy competition.
Healthy competition.
Healthy competition. No, but it's always cool to, one of the things as a recruiter, whether it's in traditional fundraising or asking people to sign up for the 6K as a host site leader, it's always good to enlist help. So if you are a host site leader on the call right now and you're trying to recruit on your own, that's probably mistake number one. Not a bad mistake, just our tendencies, we try to do everything together. What I would do is I'd rally my top 5 closest people in my life, whether it's your family members or friends, buy them lunch and ask them to help you recruit and tell them, hey, I'm going to buy you this lunch now, but the one who has the most people recruiting on behalf of our host site, I'll buy another lunch for, or something like that. Something like relational, but also enlist people. If you have people already signed up for your host site, like they could be your best people. Don't assume, especially people who signed up, turn them into recruiters on your behalf. Don't do this alone. That's what I see in point number 3 there. It's not just competition, but invite others to help you be inviters. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. My favorite on this list is number 14, which is make a challenge for yourself. We've seen this work so well at Team World Vision, and all that really means is you were saying as the host site leader, I will do this thing if I have X amount of people signed up by this day. So I will eat 10 pickles if I can get 10 people to sign up before Monday. I will love pickles for dinner tonight. I will run in the snow with no shoes on. That's the worst you got. If I can get 5 people to sign up. But you get the point. If you make a public challenge for yourself, I think we had Tammy Ballou a few years ago. She told her school that if they could get over 100 people to sign up for the 6K, she would cut off her ponytails in the school assembly, and she did it, which is awesome. So we're not telling you to cut off your ponytails, but we are saying that if you make some sort of challenge for yourself and challenge your friends and family to sign up for the challenge, then it will absolutely work, and you'll have a ton of people who say yes. All right, moving on. What about this one? It's my first time reading them. Yeah, take it in. Why don't you go first? All right, so my favorite one on this one, I think, is 17, which is the no challenge. And this has actually become very ingrained in Team World Vision culture because of Janice, who is on the call right now, one of our host site leaders, Janice, but she also did some ultra marathons with us and some other races with us. And she and one of her friends took the no challenge, and they basically challenged each other to see who could get the most no's in one day. Yeah. Like 2 years ago. And so it wasn't about getting people to say yes. It was like, how many no's can I get today? And just inherently that increases the amount of people that you're inviting. So maybe just take one day, a Saturday or a Sunday, and just see how many no's you can get. Absolutely. I think like that empowers us to not be afraid of the no, and to be like, okay, just another no, it's not a big deal. That's awesome. So I'm gonna go with 16. Something special out on site, like a homemade cookie or balloon artist on race day. I'm a big believer. You've heard me preach about this before, probably, but I think the best 6K host sites aren't at huge parks or great things. They're at people's front yards that feel like Super Bowl parties or 4th of July events or just a block party. And so in that, I would make it feel homey. Say, we're going to cook out. You know, just grill out for all your friends that come, especially if you're doing it at a house location in that sense. Because when you say that we're gonna grill food or order pizza, it just feels homey. It's not even about that element. It means we're gonna have this community environment right there.
Absolutely.
So rad.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, last one, Rusty.
All right, boom. All right, you go again.
You want me to go first? All right. That's I'm gonna go with 25, which is search for a running or walking club on meetup.com and invite them. Now, I love this tip because this is something that a lot of people don't know about. There is a website called meetup.com, and it's a website for people with similar interests to connect and do those similar things together. What's really easy to do on their website is just look for the running and walking or fitness clubs in your area, and you can reach out to the organizer of those clubs and say, hey, I'm hosting a 6K, and it's going to be this place at this time. I would love for you and your group to come and join me. And so that's a good way to reach out to groups of people instead of making individual asks all the time. You might be able to contact a group of 10 or a group of 20 or a group of 30 at a time. So I really like that.
That is a good one. But not as good as number 29. 29 is like one of the best ones. I use this a lot in even just my regular fundraising for Team World Vision races. Shout out someone who donated or signed up publicly. Because I think what happens is as we use social media, it gets a little stale just to be like, you need a narrative, right? You've taught us that you actually need a story when you post, not just like sign up. It needs to be part of your story. So this one's really cool because I always, one of the things you'll see some of our runners do who do marathons, and I've seen 6K host site leaders do, is if someone signs up or a whole family signs up, grab a picture of them and post their own picture. Maybe it's a picture of you and them and say, so grateful that so-and-so just signed up. Now we're up to 75 people at our host site. If you want to join, here's the link, right? So it's actually a celebration post, which actually the algorithms of social media pick that up better. And then you don't even need to ask, but just celebrating them, people will know what you're talking about. They'll be reminded. Most likely your friends on social media who see you celebrating, they already have your link, right? They in one way or the other, they already know about it. They just need that celebratory reminder.
Yeah, for sure. Now that's a really good one. All right.
Boom, shakalaka. What are we raffling off now?
Now we are going to raffle off a start-finish banner. And
like the actual banner?
Yeah.
That's legit.
If you already have a start-finish banner, then we'll replace it for something else. But this raffle is for a start-finish banner new. Give us a name. Dell.
Dell Dahlman on Dell.
Unmute yourself or comment in the chat.
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And give us another name, new. Megan.
Are you on? Megan.
Unmute your phone or chat. Come on, Megan.
Nope.
No? 10, 9.
Oh,
8.
Megan's here.
Megan's here. Megan's here. Okay. All right. Megan's here. Oh, we see you, Megan. We see you, Megan.
Boom.
That's awesome.
Megan's got the whole crew.
Seriously.
How many people are there? That's amazing. Yeah, where y'all at? Where's Megan at?
They're in Texas. I just saw David.
Yeah.
David.
Good to see you. San Antonio, shout out.
Awesome. Good to see you guys. All right.
Alamo, Davy Crockett.
Awesome. So Rusty just talked about, creating a narrative instead of just making an ask. And that was something that we wanted to talk about just a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
And so I broke down how to make the inviting just like 4 simple steps. The first thing is that it needs to be short and sweet. I'm sure your friends and family love you, but I'm also sure that they probably don't want to read a 20-page email from you about the 6K. So if you make it short and sweet, people are more likely to read the entire thing, follow your instructions, sign up online, and join your team. And so we want to make sure that any invite we're given, whether it's text message or email or phone call or Facebook Messenger, that is short and sweet. It's a little bit about what you're doing, what it is, and how to register. And that leads me into number 2. We always have to remember to include the why. And, the why typically is, for us, clean water or, ending the global water crisis. And that's great, but we always sometimes have a second why, right? So for me, the why is definitely clean water and the children that we serve. But my why also has a lot to do with a long history of feeling like God has broken my heart for the most vulnerable children in the world. And so realizing what your second why is, the thing that people see in you already, and talking about that in your ask. The third thing is this important? I'm going to go ahead and answer for you and say, yes, this is important to you. Yeah. So you should be telling people that. There have been so many times where I've invited my friends to something and they didn't show up and I was upset about it. And they're like, oh, you didn't say it was that important. Same thing with my
Yeah.
husband. He does that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does
Yeah,
that.
I
Yes.
understand that concept very well. Yeah.
Yes.
Just putting the words like, this would mean the world to me.
Yes.
Because that's true. That's
Yeah.
what I say in my fundraising all the
Yeah.
time. It would mean the world to me if you help me out in this thing, and then making sure that's authentically backed up by a thank you afterwards.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So make sure you're communicating, not just asking people to come to the 6K, but telling them that it's important to you. It matters to you. And then the very last thing is the call to action. There are so many times when people forget to put the website or the date and the time. You have to tell people at the end of your ads how you want them to activate. And that's typically by going to this website and joining my team. Super simple, very easy, but we just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page with that. All right. So this was something that we were going to do when our website was up. Can we get confirmation from New that the website is still not up? Oh, okay. So the website's still not up. We were going to do an invite-a-thon with you all and have you all take a few minutes to invite someone and have them sign up. But we won't be able to do that.
We did it last year.
We did it last year. It was really
We had
fun.
like 200 people to sign up for this number of minutes.
Yeah, it was really
right.
fun. But we'll trust that you all are going to make
Yeah,
an invite
yeah.
tonight anyway.
So here's what we're going to
I
do.
also had a really awesome joke about Tom Hanks and Oprah that I can't use now because,
What was the joke, though?
well, the joke was like,
I'll be the judge if it's awesome or not.
well, oh, now I feel so much pressure. The joke was,
Actually, you can chime in. Tell New on the site. Let's see.
the joke was that after everybody pulled out their phone and they were going to do like the telethon and start calling, I was going to say, don't be like Tom Hanks and Oprah, you guys, thinking you're too rich or too good to make phone calls at a telethon. No? Nobody liked that
as
one?
someone who has told a lot of jokes
I
that
tried.
don't land, I'm just
I tried.
irritated
I
once in a
tried.
while.
I tried. Okay, so because we're not able to do our telethon tonight or invite-a-thon tonight, we're just going to go straight into the challenge that we want to put out for you all.
So the challenge was going to start with the invite-a-thon and then extend till Sunday. So now the challenge is going to start whenever the website is back up this afternoon / this evening and go through the end of Sunday as well, right?
Yep.
So
So here's the challenge. So
first, you got to be on 2 different teams. Which team are you?
So which team are you on? If your first name starts with A through J, then that means you are Team Ashley.
And if you're blessed with a first name that starts with K through Z, then you are my team, the winning team, Team Rusty. Because my name starts with an R.
All right, Team Rusty. So this is how the invite-a-thon works, you all. It's very similar to last year. We are going to say that starting now, when we get off this call in the next 5 or 10 minutes, from that time all the way to Sunday at midnight, the team with the most people registered from now into Sunday night, they are going to be the winners. And so we just need you all to go crazy with invitations and recruiting this weekend. Remember that you're on a team, so your entire team has to win, not just you. And so if you're on the winning team, you're going to get something pretty special. But one disclaimer, if you are on the winning team, so for example, if you are on Team Ashley and we won, which we will win, you have to have had at least 5 people register to qualify for the prize. Does that make sense? Any clarification on that?
Yeah, just to be clear. So what we want is we want all host site leaders with first name, A through J are unfortunately on Ashley's team, and all host site leaders with beautiful God-given names between K and Z are on my team. We want all host site leaders in those segments to win this challenge, but we want to make sure that you actually participate. We have 800. We don't necessarily want to be sending the prize, which you'll see here in a second, to 300 people with the name in my team when I win who didn't get anybody signed up. So we want to put a little limiter. So whether you are on the call tonight or not, if your name is either one of these groups and that team wins, then you get the prize if you're on that team with your first name and you got 5 or more people signed up. That way we know you actually contributed to our win as Team Rusty in that sense. So yes, we do have a theme song. I'm sorry, I got distracted. My laptop's up.
I got distracted by the comments too. And I want to shout out Josh Kennedy for giving Rusty some real talk. Josh Kennedy said, Rusty, this is a friendly competition. That said, I can already taste the victory.
Oh.
That's right, Josh. We got this. We got this. So if you guys haven't, if you haven't figured it out already, Rusty and I are pretty competitive. We're pretty competitive.
Oh my gosh, look at the gifts in the PowerPoint.
We're pretty competitive. So this is going to be an all-out fight from now until Sunday. Team Ashley versus Team Rusty. We're going to be encouraging you guys all weekend.
You see Josh Kennedy's comment. Ashley's last name is Colquitt. Well, now her name is Colquitt Finley after she got married, but Colquitt is Team Cole. We don't quit.
That's right, Josh. That's right, Josh. All right, so we're going to be sending you guys some love and encouragement all weekend. We're also going to be recruiting with you, asking people to sign up for our teams as well, because we have 2 teams for the 6K, and it's going to be really exciting. Now, the one thing I haven't told you guys, is what you're going to win. That being said, the winners get $20 store credit. You all, everybody.
Who gets 5 or more in that segment.
$20 to the store. We're trying to give you as much store credit.
Out now. Me and the rest of all in K through Z.
We're trying to give you all as many opportunities as possible to get store credit this year. So we thought this was a great opportunity. So if you are on the winning team and you get 5 or more people registered, you are going to get $20 in store credit added to your account. The amazing new fan is going to add that to your account next week after we announce the winners. And remember, it's from now until 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday, April 14th, 2019. The show begins. All right, now we're rounding out here, y'all. We probably have about 5 more minutes left, but we didn't want to leave this without an extra special announcement, right?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Oh, great. That makes it even better. Now you have a natural reaction. Yeah. Okay, so we were thinking, what is New and I were thinking, what is something cool that we can add to race day? Something that would make the experience more interactive, something that would really drive home, the idea, but then also the facts of the work that we do and all of the heart and the reason why you guys put so much hard work into hosting your 6K. And so this is something that we came up with, and our wonderful experience team was like, we can totally do that, and it's going to be awesome. But this year, we're going to have an interactive race day listening experience. Yes. And so very similar to, like a podcast. So it won't be as long as a podcast. It'll be a lot shorter. But there's going to be a listening experience for race day. So people at your race are going to be able to, pull out their phone, put in some headphones while they walk, and hear stories from the field. They're going to hear the voices and the sounds of the beautiful children and the people that we serve. They're going to hear stories from World Vision staff. They're going to be educated about global poverty and the global water crisis. And it's really going to reinforce the why of why they're walking and running the 6K and why you worked so hard to put this event together. And so we're so pumped about this, you all. We did something very similar to this last year for our marathon teams. And Rusty can tell you, they listened to it at a group run and they crossed the finish line just bawling, crying. Like everyone was in tears because it was just so beautiful and impactful to hear the voices and the laughter and the songs of these children as you're walking to bring them clean water. And so we're going to have more information about this on the Rock Out Race Day webinar, where you can download it, how you can download it. But we're also going to be letting all the participants know about this in the email before the race. And so don't worry about, if people are going to know if it's coming, we're going to take care of all that for you. Anything to add on that?
Oh, I was just going to say, it's professionally done. We have talented people that do it. So it sounds like an experiential podcast in that. Really cool. It's an attitude of gratitude. It's an attitude of gratitude that rhymes. And that we want people to know that while they're moving their feet, this is why they're doing it. And we're so grateful for them for doing that. So.
All right. So we're going to round out here, but I asked Rusty, and I asked him very short notice. So he's going to share his screen here and he's going to share his screen here. I asked him very short notice if he could, round us out with a story that he actually gave not too long ago, just last week, at our National Leaders Gathering about his sponsor child, Julian, and something that's been put on his heart as far as the work that we do and our mission to end global poverty. So, Rusty, could you please share?
Yeah, and forgive the opening slide here while I set this up. NLG is the gathering we just did for a lot of our 350 endurance leaders, and a few of you all who cross over 6K and endurance were there. And so I just took the slides from there. But the reality is, I want to talk in the last 4 minutes here. It won't be longer than that. Really, why it is what we do, and why we both raise money for water, but then why we also ask people to get kids sponsored and how those two work together. I think you all know this, but World Vision, our vision statement is that for every child, life and in all its fullness. And if you know John 10:10, the scripture, that's exactly where this comes from. And one of the things I preached on, or I'm developing talks on, is how in John 10:10, the words of Jesus say, right after saying the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, I have come that you may have life and in all its fullness. And in other translations throughout Scripture, or throughout different scriptural translations, that back half of the phrase, you hear it worded differently. and in all its abundance, or and to the fullest, or to the max. You hear that translation different, but one thing that sticks out in all translations is that the word and is always there. And if you dive into the theology of why Jesus didn't just say, I have come that you may have life, and why he had to add the and the second part, is that this John 10:10 vision that I'll call it, is that, he has come that we may have life and live it to its fullness. And it's really talking about the theology of, we don't, as Christians, we don't have to wait to get to heaven to enjoy a kingdom here on earth, and that he wants his fullness of life to be in every child on this planet. And so when you think about World Vision, we actually measure child well-being. That is actually, the word well-being in a Western context typically makes us think that we're just like giving each other hugs or something like that. It's a fluffy term, but it's actually a measurement for us. And it's actually funded by both the water money that we raise through fundraising and signing up for the 6K, but also through child sponsorship. And they work together. And that's really, we've really kind of developing, God's leading us to develop the language on how, like, water is life. So when you get someone to sign up for the 6K, that's bringing life. But we're also after life and in all its fullness. And I just wanted to share one example with you and why we do both water fundraising and child sponsorship at the same time, and why we want people to sponsor kids on race day as well. And here's the one example that we'll end with. This is my sponsored kiddo, Julian. This is this picture was actually taken, I think, in 2013. I first met Julian 6 years ago. Julian is the cutie in the middle who's got a sticker on her forehead that day. And while Julian has a beautiful smile, when I first met Julian, her life was far from beautiful. It was actually very ugly. Her and her mom walked twice a day for dirty water. And y'all, I saw the source. I walked with them. That water was dirty and slowly killing them. And one of the most convicting parts of meeting Julian 6 years ago was when I asked her mom, what did they do for food? Because her mom couldn't have a job because they spent every day walking for water. And she said she looks for it on the way home. She hopes to find food every day on the way home. And I've been blessed to go to the field 9 times now, and I haven't seen poverty this bad before and since. It was a rough situation. And this picture was taken in 2013. In 2015, Julian and her mom got clean water, and it was a beautiful thing. And this picture was incredible, actually. So, sorry, stick with the timeline. First met her in 2013. Clean water comes in 2015. This picture is from like 6 months ago in 2018. We got to go visit. We're standing and taking a picture, me and a bunch of host site leaders and runners, standing, taking a picture on the water source. This is a well that's capturing the water and bringing it down to a clean water pipeline. This fresh water pipeline is now just less than 100 yards. I wish I would have measured it, but like if I turn the camera around from taking this picture, you could see Julian's hut down the road. It was not far at all, and it's fresh and it's coming alive. And this is Julian and her mom sitting in that same hut 6 years later. And I want to ask you the question tonight: can you see it? Can you see it in their eyes? The life and in all its fullness. Look at the confidence in not only Julian as a freaking brilliant 12-year-old in school, first place or in the top of her class, as she puts it, but look at her mom's eyes. Look at Julian's mom's eyes, filled with confidence and hope, and just coming alive in life and in all its fullness. And the story I want to end with tonight is where that passion and well-being and just power is coming from in those eyes. It's not just coming from the water that World Vision was able to provide. It's coming from both water and child sponsorship, and here's why. When clean water was first brought to Julian and her mom, Julian was able to start going to school again. But there were still a number of barriers that stood in their way. One of the barriers was Julian's mom still didn't have a job. So World Vision, in multiple ways, through their food security programs and their job programs, Julian's mom was able to get a job as a milk harvester. She helps out on different farms. She doesn't own any livestock, but she helps out harvesting milk and collecting milk. Well, a couple of years ago, when Julian's mom got this job, her and a bunch of other people, this is a very common job in this community, World Vision recognized that they were still being abused and taken advantage of by the local city markets, because they tried to sell their milk in the city market to make a profit, to earn an income, life and in all its fullness. But people in the market were abusing them and literally charging them. They were buying the milk from them at 1/7 of the price of what they should have been buying for, simply because it wasn't pasteurized and it wasn't in a bottle that had a little government label on it. But the milk was healthy and perfect, but they were still not in a position of power. They were in a position of being abused by society still. So World Vision is up there. So through child sponsorship dollars, this is what happened. literally in the community now there is a milk collection center, and this is one of the leaders who is leading that initiative. That's one of the pasteurizing machines. And at the end of the day, now Julian, her mom, and her community have a milk collection center in their village, so where they get to go and there's an economic system set up where they get paid full price, market price for their milk, just like every other milk harvester and seller in the region do. And they are no longer in a system where they're being abused by systems of power. They are now in a seat of power when it comes to this business. And that, my friends, is why life in all its fullness is what we're about. That is why we do the hard thing, which is getting clean water and kids sponsored. So is, to end with this analogy, the way our money works, the way our funds work in those two different mechanisms is that when we raise money for clean water, think of it like a rain cloud. It literally floats, and it goes and puts water where villages need extra support for their water money. So if this water project's not finished, or this community only has a number of, doesn't have enough kids sponsored to pay for the water projects that goes, where child sponsorship is the foundational funding that starts the work and sees the work through. And so that when one kid gets sponsored, multiple kids are getting help. And then even the adults in the community are getting help through those funds. And that's why I believe in our child sponsorship model and our water model, that they're best together. That's when life and in all its fullness happens. So we just want to share that a little bit. We're going to be talking about more of that type of stuff in the coming weeks and on our Rock Out Race Day webinar at the end there. But just thank you for all that you all do. At the end of the day, I know it's hard. It's very hard to get people signed up, like Ashley said earlier. And it's also hard to raise money and then ask people to get their kid sponsored or sponsor their kid on race day. But it is worth it, because look into the eyes of Julie and her mom. And back to that Henry Nouwen quote. This is the spirituality of fundraising. And that's why I'll always do what I do. Even if you're labeled that guy or that girl who's always asking, at the end of the day, this is why it's worth it.
Yeah. Whew. Well, I hope you guys can see why I wanted Rusty to share that story. It's such a powerful story, though. It's such a powerful story and such a great image of, everything that you all are striving for right now, to bring clean water to people, but not just clean water, to bring life and in all its fullness. And so thank you for sharing that, Rusty. We really appreciate it. All right, as we close out tonight, I'm going to have Rusty pray us out in just a second. But I just want to remind you all that we are doing the challenge until Sunday. It's going to be over at 11:59 p.m. The winner gets $20 to the winners get $20 to the store credit. I'll repost about this in our Facebook group and also send it out in a follow-up email. And then last but not least, and this just dropped in my spirit, can you all pray that the website gets back up tonight?
Let's do it right now.
Let's just utilize the power of prayer. We have over 100 of our most powerful leaders on this call right now. And I know that you all believe, and I know that through prayer, we can get this website. I just said this earlier. This is nothing but the enemy. You all are out there crushing it and changing lives and getting people signed up. So let's pray now, but then also just continue to pray that we get the website back up.
So you hear from New and Ashley.
Yeah.
Let's prepare, because also, I don't know if you know this, but Ashley was able to work with our intro people that we sent an email to hundreds of thousands of people today. It's just very hard to really protect our donors and our alumni. And we got that email today, and now there's an email in people's inbox with a link that doesn't work. Yeah. And so, Jesus, we come before you tonight. First of all, thank you for so many blessings in our life that we can't even list. And our mother, that we get to participate in your life and in all its fullness, in the kingdom here on earth, that we don't have to wait to heaven to rejoice in who you are and what you want, and restoration that you want for every child, for every person here on earth, that we get to do it now, and we get to do it in a fun way called the Global 6K. We thank you for Ashley and New and Monte and their incredible leadership for this program, and the incredible 75 plus leaders and just movers and shakers for the kingdom of God on this call. And we call them host site leaders. But Jesus, you call us all friends and allies and advocates for your mission and your glory, God. And so tonight we come before you, giving you glory and praise, and just a bunch of gratitude. But we also lift up this weird thing called our website. Because we think that we know that you are bigger than things like this. We know that that technology is weird, but it is part of the way we engage in your mission and get people signed up. So we pray in advance right now for those who are working on it behind the scenes, give them the right fixes, go in there and get this thing off the ground, God, because we don't want anybody to miss out. We don't want anybody to get that email and click on it, and that would have been a chance for them to engage. And who knows, maybe they're far from you. Maybe they need the comfort or the confidence of a finish line medal around their neck for the first time on May 4th. Who knows who you want to be involved in this ministry, Jesus. So I guess no matter when the website comes back up, God, would you not let this glitch keep anybody far from this event? Bring them back to this event if they missed it, but God, just make us, we just want to follow you in all that you do. So we end tonight by just giving you the praise. We praise you for the good things, and we ask for your glory to be revealed in the tough things, like a website going down, Jesus. So be with us as we press on towards May 4th, and may you do things. May we look back 4 weeks from now and be like, I don't know how that happened. How did we get this many people, this many kids sponsored? And we give you all the glory. So we only point to you, Jesus. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Rusty. All right, you all, that is it. We will talk soon and obviously see you soon. But thanks so much for joining the call. We really appreciate all of you all, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Appreciate you guys.